Hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm Becca. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a little illustration, which technically took me a really long time to do for the fact that it had a lot of components and I really did a very detailed background because I'm trying to force myself to do detailed backgrounds. And this is actually a drawing that I made in 2000, either 20 or 21. I don't remember right now, but it's been a while. And I just wanted to finally sit down and actually illustrate this drawing. At first I was going to do it traditionally, but I didn't really want to redraw it or just like pick a medium and whatever. I just wanted to do it on the computer. And I had a really fun time doing this because it just reminded me of how I literally got into my art style. Here I'm literally just doing the line art for the character. I didn't really do the line art for the entire thing because it would take a really long time for the fact that this was a really big piece, and just the line art itself took a really long time, like over an hour. I think it was more than 2 hours because I had a lot of things and I didn't really think it over when I drew it the first time, because as I said, I drew this as a little thing that I was going to do traditionally because I was like really into traditional drawings and I wanted to do everything traditionally. And when I got my new tablet, I was like, nah, I'm going to do this on my tablet. I'm going to do this digitally. This is going to be fun. Yeah, it was pretty fun, but sometimes art does get a bit overwhelming, especially since I wasn't used to doing so much details, and I'm literally doing this to work myself up to do more details because I want my art to be more detailed. Here I'm actually just doing all the little flat layers, and for the I'm gonna be honest, I did waste a little bit of time here because I could have just done everything as a flat color and then use the clipping mask, and after the clipping mask just use lock transparent layers, which, well, I'm sorry, it's a lock transparent pixels, where all the little colors that I added into that layer that is locked, it won't overflow, so it will just stay where it is and it would just literally be less trouble. But of course I didn't do that then because I was just trying to figure out how I was going to do this and choosing colors. As I said, I had drawn this way back in 2020 or 21, I don't remember specifically, and I was really getting back into art and everything, but this time I was just doing art for fun because I've always wanted to actually just show my art on the internet. So I was starting out to doing it for fun, but now I'm taking it very seriously. So this art was literally inspired by one of the facts that I really liked fantasy, and I like the expression of just being free spirited. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, by when I was in this one, I was really into the mood of drawing witches and not really mermaids, because I wasn't really prepared to draw mermaids because of their tails. I was very intimidated by drawing mermaids with their tails. I honestly don't know why I was intimidated by that, but yeah, I was. But in the end, I just ended up drawing a couple of images. There's this one, there's two others that I will be redrawing because I want to be able to see how my art has like gotten better. So I already picked out the drawing that I'm going to be redrawing, and it's going to be fun, so yay. But yeah, the one thing I did love about this drawing was because she was supposed to have magic powers, and I was supposed to actually draw that like in the original, well, I wouldn't say the original, like the first time I actually sat down to try and draw this, I did draw, like, did color in a couple of things that showed that she was using powers and everything, but I don't know, when I sat down to actually redo this and choose proper colors, because I actually do change a lot of the colors, I'm not gonna lie, and I just wanted to try and do something a bit different. Like, you guys actually saw that little bit where I was messing right now with the line art. That was because when I was starting this, I actually had, instead of just doing it from scratch, I think I stretched the image and it got all pixelated. Like, the line art for not the character but the background got like all pixelated, and I had to go back and redo everything because I didn't realize that, because this was done like years ago. So I wasn't really messing with that because it wasn't something I was actually going to show people how I actually did the art and everything, like posted on YouTube. I wasn't really confident with myself back then, but now when I sat down to look at it, I actually started zooming in at a point and I was like, what am I doing? Why does this thing look so pixelated? And then when I saw the pixeled lines, I stopped doing everything and I went back and I just redid all the line art. So that is technically why you guys saw that. But besides that, I did change her outfit. I changed a couple of colors as well. I thought the outfit was a bit too bright, even though I do love saturated colors. But I wanted to desaturate it a little bit. I wanted the colors to fit in with the colors from the background. Not too bright, but still something calming and pretty. And that's why I decided to change her colors for her clothes. I was gonna add leaves to a couple of these bushes, but I actually stopped to think about it and I was like, I'm going to take so long to do that. Why? Just why am I gonna do that? So I just went on a simpler route and I decided to just take my time and just figuring out how I wanted to make these leaves look the way I normally used to color, especially traditionally, how I normally color the leaves, and especially the way that I colored one of the trees from an illustration I did this year. I'll pop that illustration up for you guys. And I wanted to do something similar to that, but just still making it look like you can see that these are bushes, but just like the way that I would draw bushes. So technically that is literally the way I decided to do this. I did take my time doing this, and it was very overwhelming to have so many trees and so many bushes. I think the trunks of the tree were the fastest for me to do, I'm not gonna lie about that. But the bushes, they took so long for me because some of them I decided to change their colors. Some of them I didn't, but when I actually did decide to change the colors, they kind of became a bit lighter or a bit brighter than they were supposed to be. So that kind of took a little bit of a time, even though I had previously chosen colors already. But that's just part of art that actually does happen a lot. I do intend on trying a new technique, which is technically sort of how when I actually prepare my art when I do markers, which is literally like just having a bit of the red colored pencil that I use as doing like small layers of shadow just to help out, so I don't have so much information or so much coloring to do, because depending on how detailed I want the piece to be, it could actually take a while for that to happen. But besides that, I did really enjoy doing this because this is something I started years ago, and I actually finally finished it, and I finished it in the way that I had initially planned it to be, like all the colors and a lot of details. And I was a bit scared when I first started this, like the first time I did it a few years ago, because I used to stream on Twitch and I wanted to get better with my illustrations, mostly because I used to follow a lot of people and they were so awesome. They had so much style and they drew so well that I could literally say I was very intimidated with my art, and I was like, no, I want to do like the best art, I want to do this. But I should have just continued and not focused so much on how other people's arts were, because they probably took a hell of a long time to get where they are in their art, and here I am just trying to be them in like a few months. So I did literally learn my lesson. So if you're starting out, don't compare yourself to other artists. They had their journeys, you are gonna have yours, and eventually you're gonna get there. And you know what the weird thing is, sometimes your art's gonna be even prettier, like it's gonna be even prettier than like their art, or sometimes it's gonna be even better than their art. So don't compare yourself, just follow your journey and do what you have to do. And this is one of the reasons that I loved sitting down and going through this and just loving every inch of it, was literally because of that. Because I wanted to be in a level in something that I was not prepared to be, especially when it came to coloring and illustration, because I had really poor choice of color and like coloring technique. I still have a long way to go. I still have way so much to learn. I have so much to learn when it still comes to illustration, but how I'm doing it now and the way that I'm doing it now is the way that I wanted to do it when I started. And I had to learn all of that, and I loved my process, because now I don't just literally have one light source, or like I just do everything in one pass. I do have extra layers where I do like the shadow pass, and everything that I want it to be in shadow goes into shadow, even though if I'm coloring it in light in the beginning like I did here, there were a lot of bushes that were very bright, and it did kind of take out my character was centralized. You're supposed to be looking at her, but I actually wanted that to be clear, and I actually used this. Later on, I'm going to be doing practically, I think it's by like the end of this illustration, which I do the shadow pass, and I do the shadow pass and I do the light pass right after that, and you can see like the focal point of where I wanted it, because that's where the light is like mostly hitting. And that is literally what I loved, because I never knew these things when I was starting out. I never understood these things when I was starting out. I just literally learned from how other people were doing it. I literally took my time learning, and I think the one thing that most artists are scared of is copying other people's work and probably being, like plagiarism is a crime. People don't do that. But if you want to learn how to do something, or if you like a certain way someone draws something and you want to implement that into your art, you're literally gonna have to look at that person's art like a lot to find out what you like about that person's art. Like, I like different styles. I rather draw a more flowy natural hair. When I color hair, I actually like it to be a bit more realistic. When it comes to certain details, I do like my details to be a little like to pop out a little, like especially when I was working on these leaves. I really worked on these leaves. I really wanted them to pop out a lot, to be honest. I could have done a bit more with this tree trunk, but I didn't have the reference that I wanted when I was doing this. And afterwards, I did saw something that I really wanted to do, but I didn't want to touch this again because I really still love the outcome of it, and I kind of like to believe that this trunk is still getting old and it will still crack and have all those cute little tree details. And that's technically what I aim for. I just find something that I like on another artist, and what would I implement that to my style? Oh, this person draws nose ways that I would love to draw noses. I go into that and I figure out how they learned how to draw those noses, what they did. If they have any tutorials, I go there and I learn simply how to do that. If it's that I want to learn, that's what I learn, and I implement it to my art. Does my art look better? Does it flow? Can I maintain this? And if I do maintain this and it's something that I like, then I'll do it. Like drawing hands is crazy. And wait until you learn how to draw feet. That is crazier. I have my feet, yeah. So it's just a learning curve that I really enjoy. And one of the funniest parts about learning how to do anything, especially drawing, is the fact that you make so many mistakes until you figure out how to do it by heart. And I have a lot of people that see a lot of their favorite artists, and I am guilty of doing this because I've done this, and it's mostly the fact that we see our favorite artists do, oh, you do this and that, and you're like, yeah, but they've been doing this and that for like years. We just can't, like, sat on the bus now, people. You just sat on the bus now. You want the window seat, it's gonna take a time. But you just sat on the bus like right now, so enjoy the ride. That is literally what I have to say. Enjoy the ride. But besides that, I had so much fun doing this illustration. And it was one of the best things I did all year. Is finishing something I started years ago. And I do have another one, but this one I did it traditionally, but I'm going to redraw it because I want to redraw it in my style. I have two that I want to redraw in my style, and I'm going to be posting it. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to do a series next year. I'm currently doing my bullet journal for next year, and I've already done most of the important things like habit trackers and everything. Now I'm going to start my monthly spreads, and I just need to see what exactly I'm going to be using, especially for series and ideas for my YouTube channel. So I want to keep a little like a tight track of everything that I'm going to do on my channel next year. I might actually change my schedule because I don't think I'm going to actually be adding my Sims builds that much. I probably will do it as a live stream because I want to add in extra content, but I think I get it too lost in The Sims and I end up playing it a lot. So I might just do it as a live stream because I do want to add a live stream to my schedule. So I'll probably be doing that, like one video a week and one stream a week. And if that doesn't sidetrack me in everything I'm doing, especially like my shop and everything. I will be doing that next year. I'll probably add like another live stream as well. But besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget that my shop is currently closed. You can still order things from my shop. Everything will be there, but I will only be sending out any orders next year. If I believe on the 8th of January, I will be shipping out any orders that I received, so you would have to wait until there because I'm having my amazing holiday break. But thank you guys so much. Have a great year, month, and whenever you're watching this. Love y'all. Bye.